Thanks for joining me. Today, we're going to talk about your numbers, and we're going to talk about key performance indicators that you need to be collecting as a manager to show you how your team individually and also as a team is performing. You know, for years I've heard the term, you got to know your numbers. And as I got into coaching, I realized it was more than just the numbers, as in the finances of how much do you owe, what's the profit and loss, rather, what is the performance numbers? And these are vastly important. So I'm going to take you through a tracking system for the most important thing that you can do, which is tracking the performance of your individual players on the team and also tracking the total performance on combined averages. And this is vastly important. It's a way to track and measure what's going on in your business, who's successful, who isn't, and can help you in setting up training that's needed and can help you in determining who are your key players on your team. And you know, in doing this, I did a little bit of research, and I'm not a big baseball fan, I'll tell you that to start with, but I know that one of the things that we always look at if you're a sports fan is what's the averages. And when you look at baseball, that was the one that I pulled for this seminar. When you look at baseball, the person who has hit the most home runs in their career is a guy by the name of Barry Bonds. And when you look at Barry Bonds has hit 762 home runs in his career. That's the number one home run hitter in the history of professional baseball. But if we also look, Barry's batting average was 276. Now, the person who's conceived as the best baseball player that ever lived was Ty Cobb. Now, it wasn't because Ty Cobb was a big home run hitter, because Ty only hit 117 home runs in his career, but his batting average was phenomenal. It was 366. In other words, if you took somebody that was going to go to the plate and line up against the pitcher, Ty Cobb was the guy who could do it. Ty Cobb held over 90 records, most bases stole, other things. So if you had a choice in your business, do you want the home run hitter that hits it once in a while, or do you want that most valuable player that hits it every day on and has the highest average? And that's what this little micro course is all about, is how do you track that performance of the individuals on your team, and how do you translate this into the overall performance of your team? You see, this is key. We've got to track and measure, and that means we got to track what's going on, and we have to have a system of measuring our success. These are what we call KPI, key performance indicators. So your people's performance, the members of your team, is one of the most important factors that you're going to get into on this. So stay with me. Hopefully take some notes, take some screenshots, whatever you need to do, but start assembling what is the batting average for your team players. And we're going to start with your technicians. And let's face it, you're putting technicians out there that you're also depending on to make sales. That's right. When we send a chimney sweep to a home, let's get real. We're looking for a sales to come out the other end because the opportunities are there. So these are the key factors you have to track every single day. The number of opportunities. And an opportunity is every time that there's a service call, a chimney sweep, a gas service, whatever it is. The next thing we're going to track is the number of quotes that are prepared and presented to the customers on site. Why is presenting it on site so important? Because right now you have their full attention. You also want to track the number of quotes prepared and sent after a site visit, because if they're not preparing them on site, you're going to be fighting a harder battle to get there. The percentage presented on site and the percentage sent via email or regular mail. Then we're going to clock in and track the percentage of jobs that are closed on site. And then the percentage of jobs that are closed by call-in. The number of jobs closed by follow-up. And the bottom one is key, the average sale per every opportunity that they have. And every opportunity means every service call, every site visit, every annual service. How are you doing? What's your batting average? So that's what you're going to be measuring on your individual technicians. The next step is we've got to measure the performance of our CSRs. You're paying a lot of money to make your telephone ring. And as you go into this system, you want to refine it even further. We got to start out with the number of leads that come into your office every day. And from there, you've also got to build into where did these leads come from? And there's a lot of different systems that you can develop to figure this out. What's the number of upsells? What do I mean by an upsell? Someone calls you for a chimney service. Is your CSR skilled at adding a dryer vent cleaning to this? They're calling for a chimney sweep. Are you adding additional flues in? These are upsells. What's the number of sales closures? What's a sales closure? That means you get an invitation to the home. Your CSR has just converted your prospect into a customer. And what's the average closing percentage on your leads? This is how you're going to establish that batting average for your CSRs. It's giving you something to measure by. Now, we got to measure the team. So if you have more than one tech, this is what you're going to do. You're now going to combine the numbers together to see how your overall team is performing. You're going to list the total number of sales opportunities. And this is for the team. The number of quotes prepared and presented to customers on site. The number of quotes prepared and sent after the site visit. The percentage presented on site and the percentage sent via email or mail. The percentage of jobs that are closed on site. The percentage of jobs that are closed by call-in. The number of jobs closed by follow-up. And the average sale per opportunity for each opportunity that's presented for your entire team. Then you're going to measure your CSR, your dispatching team. What's the total number of calls that were taken by your business? What was the total number of leads? How many upsells did your team do? How many sales did they close? How many invitations? And the bottom one, again, this is all important. What's the average closure percentage on leads for your team? Now, what you're doing by doing this, by tracking and measuring, you're going to be able to determine what the weaknesses are in your system. And that is of utmost importance because we got to determine, are we giving our people the tools to do this? Are we doing this? Then you're going to track the company. Number of estimates provided. Number of estimates follow-ups per week by the techs. The number of estimates followed up per week by the office, because you have to have a follow-up system. What is your drip system? If you don't have this drip system, how many dollars are going away? The number of estimates accepted by customer call-in, or it could be by you contacting them. And the average closure rate. The average closure rate. Now, part of this is going to be setting goals and measuring and moving towards your goals. And I'm going to go into goals in just a minute. But goals are of utmost importance because you got to set a target to shoot for. If you don't set goals, you know what? You'll hit it every time. But this is why goals are so important. So this is what I suggest as your goals. Of the number of leads that come into your office, if you're not closing 75%, you got a problem. The proposals accepted in the field, my suggestion is start this at 20%, 20%. And then when we combine the follow-up, set a goal. My suggested goal is 45%. What's the average sale that you should be making if we look at it over the long haul? $1,500 per call. That's what the opportunity is there. When we look at the business that you work in, that is a wonderful, wonderful goal to set. Is it attainable? Yes, it is. Our goal at CVC Success Group is that your sales trucks, your chimney sweep technicians, your gas technicians that are doing service calls should be able to create this type of sales environment. And I want to give you a little math right here. If you do 15 calls a week, that would be 3 a day, 5 days a week. And you got this average. That means at the end of each week, that truck would have generated $22,500 in revenue. And then if you take 48 weeks in a year, and the reason I say 48 is, yes, you're going to have some holidays. Yes, you're going to have vacations. So we narrow it down, and for averaging purposes, I put down 48 weeks a year. And if you do 48 weeks a year of work, if you're doing that 15 calls a week, and you're generating $22,500 a week, at the end of a year, your revenue per truck is $1,080,000 a year. This is being done. This is being done in various markets around the country. It's being done by people who are intent to move to a higher level. It's being done by people that are getting trained. It's being done by people that are willing to follow the acknowledged recipe and how to attain this level of performance. I want you to think for a minute. How many trucks are sitting out there that are going on these service calls? Take that and multiply that by that $1,080,000 a year of goal revenue. If you have 3 trucks running, do you realize that is over $3 million a year in company revenue? This is the hard part. It's not going to be easy. It's going to be a lot of work. It's going to take, you got to drill down on the weaknesses. But unless you track and measure your performance, you'll never be able to determine where you have to do the work. Because running a business is hard work. It truly is. And right now, at this point in time, as I record this in December of 2019, we're in a bull market. This economy has been on a growth rate for over 125 months. It's time to get the house in order if you're not producing this type of revenue. It's time to get ready, because every economic prediction is saying that this bull market cannot last. Your employee issues are probably going to revert as this economy changes. Yeah, right now, you're having a real hard time, most likely, finding people. That is going to change, because the only thing that's going to change that is going to be an economic downturn. And those that are prepared in every economic downturn come out the other side with remarkable, phenomenal success. So this is a process. This is a method. If you need help with this, reach out to us here. That's what we're here for, is to help you move to those elusive dreams that you have in business. Appreciate your time. I hope this is helpful. If there's any questions on this micro course, get in touch with us. We're ready to help you get there if you're ready to do the work. Talk later. Jerry's out.